Ryan here with longrangeonly.com. In this video, we're going to talk about the Terminus Zeus. And right out of the gate, I'm just going to get the main reason why you would pick this, the number one reason, in my opinion, why you would pick this over every other action out there. And then we will talk about some other features that are nice. Some are the same on all actions. This does have a couple of features that other actions just don't have. I'll talk about those as well. And then I'll summarize again why I believe this is the action you should be buying. Okay. Number one reason why you should pick this Terminus Zeus over other actions is I've had my hands on almost every action out there, and you'll hear me repeat this and have probably heard it if you've heard me talk about actions in the past. It's really hard to keep up with that statement, and I have not shot them all but cycled most of them, but it is really hard to keep up with that statement because action manufacturers are popping up left and right. The equipment's more readily available, or people are willing to spend the money to get into it, and there just are way more actions than when I first built my first custom. There were really only a couple custom action manufacturers out there. But the number one reason why you should select this is the smoothness. It is unrivaled, period. Cycling the bolt back and forth, there is nothing as smooth as this. It doesn't bind. Very, 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 very rarely you'd have to be really hammering it on it side to side to make it even try to bind. And then it really doesn't want to bind. It still wants to slide. And honestly, the only action even close to this, in my opinion, would be a Tikka. And when it comes down to the other features, I don't really care what, people say on the internet. The Tikka just cannot compete. Yeah, it's a great budget option if you want to just put a barrel on it and not replace the bottom metal, not replace the trigger. Then it's great for a budget option for those people. But if you're going to swap all that stuff out, you might as well start with a custom in the first place. But the number one reason why you would pick this is the smoothness, period. Okay? Now let's go over the features, and I'll try to start with the ones I think are somewhat standard. It does have a side bolt release. I'll come back to that in a second. It does have an integral Picatinny rail, which is not specific or new or earth-shattering to this. Lots of actions have that. So let's talk about where you would and wouldn't use this. It weighs around 38 ounces, so it's not something you're going to use for a lightweight hunting build. It's going to be more for a tactical type build, a PRS type build, or a long-range rifle where weight's not of a concern. You're just banging steel, or like a canyon rifle type build. So they do make it in a long and a short, so you'll be covered there. They're all M5 bottoms, so you must use an M5 bottom miller magazine feed. It doesn't have feed lips, so you can't use it in a BDL setup. It comes in a regular threading or a quick change. A lot of guys are liking the quick change, and it was fairly new to me when I got this action, and I wasn't going to be an early adopter. I kind of do wish that I would have gone that route now, because it takes a little bit less time. Okay, it does have a roller cocking piece. It is a 3-lug 60-degree bolt throw, which typically would make it more difficult to open or cock, because you are doing the same amount of force over a shorter distance, 60 degrees instead of 90. The roller cocking piece pretty much makes it so you can't really tell the difference between this and a 90-degree or most 90-degree bolt throws. There is no perceivable cock on close with the triggers I've used. I've used Bix and Andy and Trigger Tech. I think Joel does have them timed for Trigger Techs, but this is a Bix and Andy, and I can't perceive any cock on close. The side bolt release is a cantilever style. I'll try to get some close-ups here for the video so you can see what we're talking about here, which is nice because it's above the stock line and you don't have to worry about getting the right stock line for a specific side bolt release. It does have a 725 bolt, a .725 bolt, so it's a little bit bigger than your standard Remington 700, which may play a role in how slick it is. that plus the 3-lug, I think, probably is what really does it. And then the action and the bolt are DLC coated, which obviously is going to contribute to how smooth it is. Okay, like I said, it's right around 38 ounces, so it's not something you're going to be using for an ultralight build. But for those tactical PRS type stuff, I don't think there's a better action out there. Typically, those are going to have M5 bottom metals anyway. They're going to be magazine fed. You don't need a BDL. You don't need the feed lips. You want an integral rail, and the weight's not going to be a concern. So this would be great for that. Like I said, this is the #1 action for those types of situations because of mainly the smoothness. Some of these other features are cool, but they don't really separate it from others. Now, when you add them all up, it definitely does. It also has pinned, the trigger pins are screw in. That is patented, so no more of that hammering stuff out, and you don't have to use a trigger hanger. You know, the difference between the pins and using a trigger hanger to me is minute, but it is really cool because if you're out there doing competition or whatever and your trigger gets dirty and stops working on you, you can just have a backup trigger and screw those pins out in a couple seconds, put a new trigger in. You don't have to have a punch and worry about losing the pins and all that stuff. So that is a nice feature. So pretty cut and dry, simple. These actions don't, there's not a lot to them to talk about. So I think that's it. We'll go ahead and summarize the features, and then again, I'll repeat why I think you should pick this. So integral rail, integral recoil lug. There's a standard threading and a quick change option, short and long. It doesn't have feed lips, so it's got to be used with a magazine setup. It's got a cantilever side bolt release. It's got the screw out trigger pins for easily swapping triggers. It takes Remington 700 triggers. It's got a cocking piece with a roller on it to make it smoother to cock, easier to cock. So you can see right there, not a problem. And then the #1 best feature of it, in my opinion, is just how smooth it is. Very nice, and it is very well timed for the triggers I've used. If you're looking for a tactical PRS, ELR type action with the features that I mentioned at the top of your priority list, you really need to take a look at the Terminus Zeus. We'll have a link in the description below to a thread on longrangeonly.com where you can go ask me any questions I didn't answer in this video, maybe something more specific you'd like to know. You can go do that there. If you're not a member, it's quick, it's free, it's easy to sign up. We'd love to have you. There's a lot of great information over there, a lot of knowledgeable people on the forum. They can help you with information as well. Please like the video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you'll be notified of future videos. We appreciate you taking the time to watch. Have a great day.